Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. And don't worry, you're not seeing things. They're back together. Shearer and Sutton, Cole and York, Suarez and Sturridge, Omri and Burkamp. But we've got the best partnership of all. It's great to have him back. Lee Allison, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, very well, thanks, mate. Thanks for having me back. Obviously, I preferred Ellington and Roberts at Wigan, but I'll take second best with Nath.
Yeah.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah. How you doing, Nath? How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Teething problems, but should be all right now. Can you hear me well?
Yep. Can hear you fine, mate. Can hear you fine. Look, tonight we're going to talk about the top four race, and it's getting really tight at the top there. It's Chelsea being dragged into the top four. You're looking at Man City and Liverpool; they're fighting it out in a really exciting who's going to win the title. They've got their own agendas to be getting on with, but the top four race could be anybody at the moment. Anybody could get there, and we're going to start with Manchester United. We're going to be doing this for the next every Wednesday, so things will change with different conversations. So yeah, it's going to be a very exciting show. So don't miss this every Wednesday. We'll start off this week. We're going to talk about Manchester United. They're playing tonight in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid, and in the league they're sitting fourth at the moment. Coincidentally, the team supported by our two guests tonight. So before we get into it, there's a little comment there which we'll quickly answer. Lee, how did you first become a United fan?
Well, obviously, growing up with my dad being a professional footballer, the majority of people would kind of follow where he was. But I was very close with my auntie and her, my cousin, really, and they went to become a Man United fan, and I kind of just followed whoever he supported. So it got to a time when I was sort of 10 that I couldn't change, and it was Man United, and it stayed like that. And fantastic club. I had some great years watching them. Not so much these days, but when they were at their prime, they were a fantastic outfit. And it's a shame, and hopefully they'll get back there. But I don't think it's going to be any time soon at the moment, if I'm honest.
Yeah. No, quickly. How did you become a United fan? Quickly.
Yeah, similar to Leah, really. To be fair, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, my older cousin and my older brother, they both was always talking about Man United and Mark Hughes and all these players. And we wasn't actually winning anything when I was 5, but they supported them. So I just supported them. And I always watched them. I didn't actually watch them. I listened to them on the radio more than anything, because that was the times where there was only radio. I remember listening to Man United versus Arsenal at Highbury. Remember the 6-2 when Lee Sharp scored and all that? I remember listening to that on the radio. I know you don't, but I do. I remember clearly like it was yesterday. Listening to it in my mum's bedroom on the radio. That's how young I was. But we're from Bradford. Our family's from Bradford. So we're up north, but not Manchester. But, we went to London for most of our lives. So I just stuck with my brother, what he said. And then I ended up loving United from then, continuously watching them. So, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Okay, nice one. Look, let's get into this. Manchester United, 12 games left. They got 6 at home. They got 6 away. We've already said they're sitting fourth at the moment. They've got 46 points. They've won 13 of them. They've drawn 7. They've lost 6. They've scored a good amount of goals. They've scored 44 goals. They don't seem to have a problem there. Letting 34. And their goal difference is plus 10. Lee, we'll go to you. Have United got what it takes to beat the rest and get to that 4th place?
No, I'm not sure they do. I think I've looked long and hard into. I've been looking at this for a while now, and with the managers that Man United have gone through, they can't all be bad. And sometimes I'm a big believer in you're only as good as your players, and I think maybe the players ain't good enough, and I think that's what it comes to. Maybe they're good enough, but maybe there's a wrong attitude, or there's something definitely not right. I think they've got some really hard games. I was just looking at the fixtures there, and I think they'll fall short this year. I really do. I think defensively, they're too open, too many chances against, and I still think they lack an out-and-out centre forward. I think it's massive. You know, Cristiano Ronaldo plays up there, but he isn't really an out-and-out centre forward. As someone who's going to get hold of the ball, protect it, look after the ball, get you up the pitch. You know, like a Harry Kane does, like a Cavani does when he plays. I think everyone got carried away when Ronaldo come to the club. He isn't the Ronaldo of old. He's still great. He's unbelievable. Enjoyed many years of watching him. He never played up front for Man United when he was under Sir Alex Ferguson. You know, he'd had Rooney up front, or he'd have Tevez up front, and he'd come off the wing, or he'd play in the 10. And I still think they lack that. I think they lack a combative centre midfielder who gets about the pitch and wins big tackles and looks after the ball. And I think defensively they're weak. And I think that's the problem. And these sides are better now than ever. And they've got great players in every team in the Premier League now. Got good players, and they sit in, they're patient, and they know Man United to give them a chance. I think Man United are renowned for it now, that they'll give you a chance. Even, you know, Sunday, I watched the game Sunday, 2-0 up cruising. I walked upstairs, I turned the telly on in my bedroom. You know, what is going on? So, I'm not sure they will, if I'm honest. I think Arsenal want a good run. I think they'll finish above West Ham, but I just think they might fall short. I just think this year they could fall short.
So you just don't think they'll find the consistency, Lee? No, you just don't think you've got it in them?
I think they leak too many goals. I just think that you can't, as I say, I think teams have sussed them a little bit. They sit in, they're patient. As long as they don't concede, I think teams think they'll get chances against them. And, you know, one thing Man United used to be was resolute at the back. You know, Vidic, Ferdinand, Bruce and Pallister. You know, you can go through it, and they all have two great centre-halves, two good fullbacks. You look at Gary Neville, he wasn't an out-and-out attacking fullback. He'd sit in and defend, and he was a great 1v1 defender. And I just think that's where we've fallen short. I think there's just too many chances that they concede, and against good sides, you concede goals. And I think teams invite them on, and I think Man United get carried away, and they just get picked off. And I think that will happen to them again this season. As I say, gone through a lot of managers now, and it can't all be the managers. At some point, you have to look at the players and go, do you know what? We might not be good enough. And that maybe is where we're at now.
Yeah. Nathan, same really question, really. I mean, do you agree with everything that Lee just said there? And on top of that, how important is it for United to get fourth place? Is it a hindrance? Do they need a season to build? What do you think?
No, to be honest, look, exactly what Lee said there. It's a lot of everything he said is exactly right. You know, the United are just not good enough. When you really look at it, it can't be the managers. It definitely isn't the managers. We're watching the players on the field get torn apart by every team in the league pretty much. You know, we got a soft defense. Like I say, because we have to play a certain way, it's showing up some of our defenders. You're not able to defend one-on-one. I think we've got players in the side that can actually play what we're trying to play right now. But I think the politics side of things doesn't allow for the managers maybe not strong enough to just go, you know what, I'm bold. I'm going to pick this team that's going to do exactly what I want. So we're going to end up having these problems where you're going to see Pogba in and out because of the problems that we have at the back, you know? And you got people like Eric Bailly sitting there on the bench that he's been fit for a long time now. It's not like he's been in and out. He's been fit. He just got a bruise during the African nations. I think he definitely can do a job that will allow Pogba to get forward, and we won't get overrun defensively very easily if Maguire, you know, can maybe sit out and give Bailly a chance to play there. And when it comes to the fullbacks, like we say, they're not giving enough. We don't get them crosses from the width, which you need in this kind of team, which Cavani needs, which Ronaldo needs. We don't have that. And Rashford, he's currently off the boil as well. So in regards to looking at the top four, everybody's got to get back on it. You know, our best players have got to be on it all at the same time, which it doesn't seem to have happened at all this season. Not once have we seen most of the players playing well. Sancho's not playing well, and Rashford gets a goal. You know, then Sancho starts playing well, Rashford's not playing well. You know, Cavani comes on. Actually, he's not done as well as he did last season due to the injuries and coming back in. But again, it's too much. There's too much that needs to be changed. and too much. But the only thing that gives me hope is that the other teams around us are doing exactly the same thing. So I actually believe we probably will get fourth, just because the others are just as bad as us.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. So Lee, when I said sort of the question I asked at the end there, where I said about would it be a good idea? I mean, we see Chelsea. They had a year out of the Champions League. They rebuilt. They won the league and ended up winning the Champions League the year after. Is it an hindrance? Have Man United got the players to get a good run, a sustained challenge to win it? Would it be good for them? I know we don't go out there to lose, or if we take it, we take it. But we look at Chelsea and what it did for them. It seemed to sort of rejuvenate them. Do you think it would be good for something like that to happen with Man United?
What, win the Champions League?
Not maybe if they didn't go in it for a year like Chelsea didn't.
I think Man United have been rebuilding since Sir Alex Ferguson left, the year on year. Every year it's a rebuild. Every year it's another 100 million. That is it. And listen, I think Atletico Madrid are all wrong for Man United. I think they're all wrong for them tonight. I think they'll struggle. Yeah. I think they have to be in the Champions League to attract good players. I think they have to be in the Champions League to attract a top quality manager. I would have kept Carrick in charge. I would have kept him in charge. No need to change. I can't understand they've become a bit of a laughing stock, to be honest. And they're losing their way of attracting the top players. They haven't got that anymore. But for me, they have to be in the Champions League, because I don't think they can afford to be out of it. And you don't go and get Harry Kane next year or whoever else they've got to try and get if they're out the Champions League, because all them top players want Champions League football. So I think it's really, really important they get top four. I don't think they can keep rebuilding, but they've got to go and get a manager now where I think Nathan just said it there. He's got a bit about him that goes, this is our style, this is how we're playing. It's going to take a few years to build. But every time, I never thought Solskjaer was right. I never did. Mourinho, is always a 2-3 year job and he's bored. But they've got to go and get someone now. And I'm a big believer in Rome wasn't built in a day. It really isn't. It takes time. It takes time to build a philosophy. You look at how long Klopp's been there now. Guardiola's been there now. It takes time. And you've got to get the right players in. And you can't just have one transfer window and hope it all changes. It doesn't. It does take time. I just felt Solskjaer was wrong for the club. But no, for me, they have to get in it. They have to get in it. If they want to achieve anything in the next 2 or 3 years, everyone's coming. Newcastle are coming. They're all coming in the next 2 or 3 years. So it's really important Man United stay in it, in and around it, and hope that they get the right man for the job. They get the right players in. I would have gone all out for Calvin Phillips. I'd have gone all out for him after the Euro he had. I thought he was fantastic. I think he'd do a great job in midfield. Him or Declan Rice. I don't think you'll get Rice now. But they need something. They need a change. They need something. And they need someone who's going to stand up and go, do you know what? This is how we're playing. No player power. No one's bigger than me. And go in and do it their way. And until they get that, I think it's going to be another struggle.
Yeah. I mean, Nathan, can you see players leaving if they don't make it in the Champions League, which is more, there's a good chance, there's 2 or 3 teams like Lee said, right behind them, and has probably just got as good a chance as them. And there's also been reports that getting into the Champions League will depend on the type of manager that will come to the club. If they don't get in it, you're looking at Ten Hag, you're looking at possibly even Ragnick staying, and Pochettino. I've heard that if you're not in the Champions League, then there's no chance that he would go to Manchester United. Do you feel that that's the way? How important it is?
Yeah, of course. You can't try and build to where we want to get to without being in the Champions League. That should be a minimum. And the players that we have, there's no excuse to not be top 4. To be honest, we've been abysmal this year compared to where we thought we could get to. With the addition of the players that we've had, it doesn't make sense how we've gone from second position to this position after actually adding better players to the squad. It didn't make sense. But as answer to your question in terms of players leaving, remember they're in a contract, So you know how hard it was for Pogba to leave. They ain't gonna let a lot of people leave. But at the same time, we need a lot of players coming in because we really don't have the quality that we need for Champions League. To try and get anywhere in the Champions League, we need to bring in 5 players. I'd say around 5 players to make this really work. I think definitely central defensive midfield, attacking striker, a striker right down the middle, a number 9, and like I say, I think we probably need another centre back because that's what you're gonna need. But then the fullbacks, we need someone who can get up and down as well. Okay, they're adequate, but I want more. I want a bit more. I want youth and I want someone like Bellingham because he knows Sancho, he plays direct, he's English, and he's gonna be around for many years to come. That's why I would have someone like him. I'd obviously try and get in the Declan Rice, but he's a bit too much. So that's why Calvin Phillips may be the next one, or a Haidara that everyone's been talking about. I don't know much about him, but as long as he can get around the pitch and keep the ball, that's all that matters. Like, a player that can do that at Champions League level. And then you're talking about a young striker. Obviously, Haaland, for me, would be the main guy that I would go all out for because he's cheap. He's going to be cheap to acquire. But think about it. We're paying Cristiano that kind of money on his wages anyway. Why don't we just say, Cristiano, thanks a lot for your time and just give him the money instead? Because you've got Haaland who could be there for the next 10 years and there ain't too many other players anywhere near that level of ability. Let's break the bank for that kind of player and then do what we can everywhere else because we need longevity. We need players that are going to gel together, that have played together. That's the thing that Sir Alex Ferguson done very well, didn't he? He brought in these kind of players that for a system. You saw Fletcher playing. You saw Anderson playing against the Liverpools. You saw Ji-Sung Park playing in games where you thought, wait a minute, why is Giggs not playing? Or why is Beckham not playing? Ji-Sung Park will be playing, because it's horses for courses. Anderson would, keep Gerrard quiet, but he wouldn't play like your Keenan Scholes. He might just play Anderson and Fletcher because he knew what he needed. That's what United need. A person that knows how to bring together players that are going to play with each other and gel. Chemistry is the word.
Yeah. I mean, all the talk is that if Manchester United don't make the Champions League, it's Pogba will not sign a new contract, he'll be gone. There's also rumours of people saying Ronaldo's got something written into his contract that if you're not in the Champions League, then he will be gone. Lee, what camp are you in? Are you in the fact that you don't care if they're gone, or
I'm in the camp of you never heard of this when Alex Ferguson was manager? And it's a lack of leadership. It's a lack of leadership from top to bottom. It's player power taken over. We go back to what Nathan said earlier about being a proper manager. There's too much player power now. You never hear about Man United players in the press when Alex Ferguson was manager. They knew they stepped out of line, they were gone, and it's as simple as that. And you have to be tough at the job for a club like Man United. Pep Guardiola, he don't mess about. But Man United have gone through. They've gone round and round and round in circles for me, and they're getting it all wrong. And I think it starts at the top. If they go, they go. It's as simple as that. I watched Rio Ferdinand last night talking about Alex Ferguson when it didn't matter who you was, how good you was. If you didn't fit his system, you're out the door. It's as simple as that. And I think Nave's touched on it there. Ji-Sung Park, Fletcher, Hargreaves, they were proper grafters. They were proper grafters. They allowed the players around them to have freedom. That front four that United had when it was Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo, Rooney grafted. Tevez grafted. It allowed Ronaldo to have that freedom. At the moment, you've got 3 or 4 that don't really graft, and you're playing with 6 against the ball. When you haven't got the ball, you're now asking 6 players to defend against a proper 11. It's tough. The system's wrong. And if they go, they go. For me, as I say, it sums it up. If you've got something in your contract that you don't get in the Champions League, that's all about him. That's all about the player. And it's all wrong for Man United because they're not doing very well. So maybe they need to go back to the drawing board and they're not as good as what they think they are. And have to work a little bit harder. In football, you get out of it what you put in, and the results this year show that they haven't put enough in, unfortunately, and that's where they're falling short for me.
I mean, we're at that time of the year, Nathan, where it's all about consistency, and nobody's sort of showing any great amount of consistency. But I think what is important. I don't know if you both agree that it's consistency to have a regular team. It seems to me that Ragnick is really sort of playing different teams all the time. You can never sort of pick from one team to the next. Nathan, is this something that you're quite happy with going ahead in for the next? I mean, how many games you left? You got 12 games left, or would you like a proper 11 consistent team that's going to be out there every week?
Well, here's the thing: when you look at United, we're actually down to the bare bones now. We haven't really got too many options to. When I'm looking around, we've got a few players on loan that I would have liked to have actually stayed. Now it looks like we could have used them. We could have done with keeping Martial and seeing what he could do in this new kind of attacking way. I think it's a way where we can counter-attack a lot quicker. And that's why Sancho's flourishing now, rather than when, a few games back, no one was moving. We would all stand still. We wouldn't press. So then there's no space in behind. So Sancho could never run at him. Now it's kind of a game for him. And when you look at the whole side, end of the day, as long as we continue the progression that I'm seeing over the last few games, we have seen progression. We played really well for the first half, then tired out, and was 1 up or 2 up. Then we played really well for the first half against Newcastle, had a few goals disallowed. I think it was Newcastle, and then we end up drawing that game. I think. Then same thing happened in Burnley, but I could see the progression in how Rangnick wants us to play. So as long as he's doing that, and it doesn't matter. You shouldn't have to worry about interchanging with a Rashford for a Langer, or a Lingard. That's fine. As long as the players are playing in their best positions, I don't mind that. And giving whoever's hottest at the time, because Rashford's not too hot, so take him out, put a Langer in. When the Langer's not too hot, let's try Lingard. That's not a problem. That's how football should be. Give the players who are on fire chance to continue playing. And that's what he's doing. I'm seeing that now. But I'd just like to see that happen at the back as well. And I think it will save a lot of problems defensively. I think would be so much easier going forward. And then Pogba won't have to come out at the side and they won't be talking about him not being able to defend. But that's not his job. His job is to attack. And you get the defensive player to defend and then the centre-backs to defend as well. And then you're all good. If you need 2 defensive midfielders to cover the defence, that's when you're going to lose out going forward and you're also going to lose out going backwards. So we need to fix that side of it. And I thought Rangnick would have seen that and actually done something about it so far. But he hasn't yet done it. But I'm still hoping that he does.
Yeah. At this point, hello, Alan. I'd like to welcome you to the show.
You're muted at the moment. There we go.
Howdy, guys. Yeah, I finally had to restart and restart the computer and reinstall Chrome. So there you go. That's my take.
Wow.
Yeah, Alan from Capital FM 105.3. Capital's Russia's only English-speaking radio station. I've been practicing that all day, so yeah, I've got that. And well, thanks. At least we've got you now, Alan, and hopefully you can come and do this show for the next few weeks because this is going to be going on right through the season. But what I want to do now is something that I'm going to do with every team as we go along. With Manchester United, they've got 12 games left. I want to go through these games, and I want to hear whether you think what you'll get out of them, whether you think you'll get a win, a lose, a draw, and then we'll see at the end of going through all the sides which has got the most points and who's going to get that 4th place position. It won't be this week because we can't go through them all, but we'll have a go. First one to go with you, Nathan, is Watford at home.
I got us winning that one. I think we've come a long way. The progression is there, and we're at Old Trafford. I think we'll have enough to win that game. Well, as for just that game, I'll stick with that. But the next one is a whole different story.
All right, Lee, Man City away.
No, they don't win that one. Listen, Man City is what you want your football team to be like. You know, they've got their work ethic is fantastic. They get about the pitch, and I think they'll have too much work ethic for us. I think they'll press too high, and we'll give the ball away. And I think they'll hurt us too much. And I see Man City winning that one. We're just too open. We'll be too exposed, and I think they'll have too much.
Alan, Manchester United's next game will be Spurs at home. Another team who are going to be fighting for that fourth place, but they're at home. So, do you think Manchester United will be able to get something out of that, or Spurs be able to turn them over?
No, I can't see Spurs doing it. They did well, of course, at the weekend, but and Conte hasn't gone well. But I don't see them unless Harry Kane plays out of his skin. Because even in draw, probably, Spurs will have enough about them to come up and frustrate United to keep it tight at the back for a long period of time. They're no dummies, but apart from. I know Spurs are a streaky team. You can be very, very good, but I do think United just have enough about them to, hang in there and get it. I don't see. At best, Spurs can be hoping for a draw. That's it. For a draw, that's it. Yeah, and United are just that little bit too good. They have better quality players in all positions. Bar, I do think Harry Kane is international class for sure, like world class. That's the only kind of plus that Spurs have. And but no, I see a draw at the best for Spurs. But 3 points for United.
Right, Lee. Antonio Conte. While we've just got on Spurs, we'll quickly touch on Spurs. What do you think their chances of getting fourth this season?
I haven't got the squad for it, I don't think. I think they'll drop too many points against teams in and around them. They go and get a freak result against Man City. Obviously, Harry Kane, point to prove, obviously nearly going there in the summer. So, no, I just think they'll fall short. I have to be honest, at the moment, I feel it's Arsenal's to lose. Well, obviously, with the 2 games in hand, but I do feel that they're the ones that, if they get on the run that I think they could get on, they're the ones that will get in Nick fourth spot. I just feel Man United will slip up somewhere. It's something just not right there at the moment. So I just feel that Spurs will fall short, and I think it's going to be between West Ham again. Just probably squad not strong enough, but what a great job Moyes has done. But I think it's a 2-horse race between Arsenal and Man United, and whoever holds their nerve will get in there. I just feel that something for me is not quite right at Man United again this season.
Yeah, well, it's. I mean, I said they'd win the title at the beginning of the season. So what do I know? I'm just totally shocked, really. The way things are turned. No, not Tottenham. Manchester United. No, definitely not Tottenham. But anyway, Nathan, Liverpool away. How do you think they'll?
We'll lose 6 points on that one. We're definitely not being there. We're definitely not.
I tell you what, you better start picking up some points, you Mark.
Look, we are soft. We're a bit too soft to play against them kind of teams. I realized this season, like the seasons before, I could see, what, we could get a counter attack and win that game and defend really deep. But at the moment, we've not got that. And if we try and go and press Liverpool, it's over. Like, we can't be pressing in Liverpool and press it. We'll probably have Dalot play in and maybe Tellez. They're probably not used to playing against Salah and Mane as much as Shaw and Wan-Bissaka is. I don't know what he'll do there, but I do know that we'll probably go pressing him and we'll get torn apart. I think Liverpool, City, and them 2 clubs will get torn apart. Everyone else will give us a chance, but no, 0 points in that game. I'm sorry.
Alan, look, this has to be 3 points, I think, for this next one. Leicester at home can be good on their day. Brendan Rodgers, touted, once Manchester United manager of the future. That sort of ship seems to have sailed recently. But easy win for United against Leicester.
Yeah, Leicester have come apart to the seams, haven't they? They've been very, very weak. It's a shame to see them do that. I know that, as you know, our good friend Andy Mack from Capital Sports, he detests Brendan Rodgers simply because he's a Glasgow Celtic fan and he can't handle the fact that Rodgers is a good coach. as an Irishman, a fellow Irishman, I'd always say, you know, Rodgers is an excellent coach, but I do think that at Leicester, there's nothing else he can do. They have some very good players, very, very good players. They're doing an awful lot worse than they should be right now. But no, United all day for me. Like you know, as Nathan said, they could just slip up. They could have a bad day. You know, as Lee said, like United don't have that depth of a squad to kind of compete. But against Leicester, I mean, what Leicester, you know, they're hanging on to trying to get into the top half of the table to get some money back in. So yeah, 3 points United all day long.
Yeah. Lee, we'll just touch on Brendan Rodgers. He's not for Man United.
I really like him. Really like him. I think he plays. I think sometimes, Steve, you become a victim of your own success, and sometimes you take Leicester so high that they can't sustain or continue it. And probably what he needed to do was get out at the end of the season to join a higher club. I thought, you know, Klopp's done fantastic. He done a great job at Liverpool. He really did. The season when they nearly won it was exceptional. He done wonders at Celtic, although it's always a 2-horse race. But I like him. I like his philosophy. I like what he's about. I think he's got a great style, and I think he's good with good players. But listen, whether he's Man United level, who knows? I don't know what's Man United level anymore. I've got to be honest. We've tried everything, and nothing seems to work. So maybe it's the people at the top that have got to look at themselves. As I say, you know, not all these managers could be bad. So you know, I don't know, but I do like Rodgers. I think he's a good manager. I think he's a good man manager. I know a couple of people that know him and rate him very, very highly. So, you know, I hope he falls into a big job because I think he deserves it for what he's done.
Steve, could I just add into one thing that Lee's saying, and Lee, feel free to disagree with me on this. I think that what did him, I mean, that really put the stick into the spokes of his own bicycle, was the behind the scenes documentary film on Liverpool, when he had the envelopes and all that sort of stuff. I think that he's a very open and very honest and a very direct guy, and he you know, and he is we call a players coach, and he knows plays a good brand of football. But I think that exposed him and ended up just absolutely destroying, I think, that his legacy in Liverpool, because people just started to sneer at him. You know, it was like kind of Mourinho with Spurs. As soon as the cameras went behind the scenes, that's it, bang. Like one little mistake, one little word, one little, you know, I say capricious moment, and he's finished. Now maybe I'm reading too much into the media side of it, but I think he was stitched up in a way as well by this kind of like behind the scenes, flying the wall stuff.
Do you agree with that, Nathan?
To be fair, I've not seen what you was on about, so I can't actually comment on it until I see it. To be fair, I have to have a look. I'll try. I'm hoping that you might elaborate a bit more. But yeah, I didn't see what you're talking about, so I don't have an opinion.
It was one. I don't know if Lee, if you saw it. It was one where he had like envelopes, and he said, "This is where what's going to happen to us this season, where we're going to finish, and at the end of the season we'll open it up." And he basically, we know he's a very, very educated person. He's very well read. He's very educated. So he tried to bring that extra psychology to it and his own, you know, kind of like he tried to bring something extra to it. But the people who kind of went, "That's not football. Who the hell does he think he is?" You know, they kind of like laughed and sneered at him about it.
Okay.
If it wasn't on the small screen, no one would have known.
Yeah.
But when it was there, it was kind of like, haha, like he's a bit of an idiot.
Yeah, well, it does look kind of, you know, when you say something before it happens, it does look quite bad. You know, like when Gerrard and everyone was thinking that they've already won the league, and then he slips, and then, you know, then it's a loss of it all. So it is a bit like a laughing stock because you've said it too early. But I get where he's coming from, trying to make, because you're supposed to like think things into existence as well. So there's no harm in doing that. I had positive mental attitude. I was always told by my mum the same kind of thing, you know, look, you write down on the wall. I wrote down on my wall, I'm scoring 25 goals this season. I'm scoring 26 goals. And I just used to see it all the time. And then I scored that many, got more and stuff like that. So it's a thing of, you do have to have that positive mental attitude. Seriously, it makes a massive, massive difference. Yeah. But like you say, when it's out there in the open, it is kind of people going to shoot you down.
That's the problem. People take it the wrong way, don't they? I mean, we say it every year. We start the pre-season and we're winning the league this year. No matter how it happens, we're winning the league. We're mid-table and we're struggling, so it ain't worked.
It is one of the things. I mean, when I was boxing, I remember I was already 29, so I should have been already finished up. And I remember before the quarterfinals, it was in just as at Frankfurt. I remember lying in my hotel bed, and the first time ever in my life, it was before the quarterfinals, first round fight, and I was lying there, and I remember what my coach, when I was 17, had told me, so 12 years before, and he said, think through every single moment from the first round, all the punches, everything you're going to throw and everything you're going to do. And I did it, and it worked. Now, it did, but again, it's kind of that thing with like Mike Tyson says that you're great until you get the first punch in the nose, and then everything goes out the window. If you have the plan and you say, look, no matter what, I'm going to reach this target, I'm going to score goals, I'm going to. Listen, who was it now, Steve? You guys, you know who it is, and I'm trying to remember. It was a former Man City manager. It wasn't Malcolm Allison, and he said that if you aim for the ceiling, you'll fall flat on your backside. Aim for the sky, you'll land on your feet. And if we're talking like, say, Hendon, if you don't go for first place, you're not going to end up mid-table. That's it. You know, and you have to be ambitious. You have to have the goals. And
aim high, simple as that.
Yeah. I was a bit worried you were talking about the Michael Adamson era, as if like you were saying I was a bit old there, Alan. I feel like I'm the oldest one. I'm trying to go back to the 50s now and the 60s. And all of a sudden I thought, what am I doing here?
No. I already did that today. Mentioned someone, so like I said, you're a little bit older than me, and he goes, yeah, a year. So I was like,
yeah, I mean, mental positive attitude is so important. I mean, we're totally going away from the subject, but it's such a great.
Sorry.
No, mate. I was just about to say it's such a good conversation, and you know we could go on forever. And I mean, I wanted to ask Lee. I mean, how important is that at all levels, Lee? Even at like at Hendon level?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's all about being positive because you know it's tough. It's tough. It's tough for the players. You know, I want players to aim as high as they can. I think I've got some players that can kick on. I really do believe that. I've made no secret that I want to kick on myself as a manager. I want to try and manage in the Football League. I believe I can do it. But again, you have to deal with situations and tough seasons. And, you know, it's been extremely tough this year. A lot of lows, a lot of illnesses, injuries, suspensions that we've had this year. Look, you would never envisage at the start of the season. You think you've got a great side, and then you go and lose 6 key players for the season. You know, it kills you. So, you know, I think for me, the biggest thing for me is the lows. When the lows are bad, you know, they're horrible, and I have to be better at dealing with them. You know, but I've only been manager now for 3 years, and 2 of them seasons were null and void. So I'm learning on the job, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But you know, the highs I never really get too high. Have to deal with the lows better. But the positive mindset, I'm a big believer in that. My wife's a massive believer in that. She wants to make a board where we look into the future and promotions in it and stuff like that. Like Nathan saying about writing it on the wall, because they do say speak it into existence. You know, it's a big thing, and you know, I'm looking more and more into that. The psychology side of things is massive. And it's probably harder, I've got to be honest, probably harder non-league football than it is Football League, because I'm with the boys probably 3 times a week. They've got to deal with all other stuff outside of football. You know, they're working, they've got other issues going on, and you're not with them day to day where you can find out their lifestyle and how they are. You know, we see them for probably an hour and a half on a Tuesday, an hour and a half on a Thursday, and half a day on a Saturday. You know, so they have a lot to go through, these players, and it's tough. It's really tough in non-league football, but it's a great job. I absolutely love it, and hopefully we can all kick on, and the players can kick on into bigger and better things. And nothing will make me happier than watching one of my boys that I've worked with walk out on a professional field one day playing at a professional football club.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Well said. Well said, mate. Well, look, Nathan, I'm totally aware of the time. I know kickoff's coming. I know it's approaching. So don't worry. What we do, we'll, as I say, we're going to be doing this every week until the end of the season. So until that fourth place is nailed on by someone. So there'll be different results. Things will change. So it'll be a really good conversation each week. Someone will be fourth, fifth, and they'll be dropping out, and it'll be a good show. So don't miss that every single Wednesday. But quickly, what I'm going to do, we continue the rest of the Man United chat next Wednesday, because we've got Alan here, who's a big, massive West Ham fan, and look, they're in the race, and we've got people shouldn't think that they're out of it, and so. Just quickly, while you're here, Alan, tell us about your mate at West Ham, and what do you think they're going to do this season? Do you think they can get fourth?
I was a lot more confident about before New Year. I was an awful lot more confident. I've gone back a little bit now. Wasn't sure that they, I thought that they needed to strengthen up a little bit during the mid-season break, the winter transfer window. West Ham since I was a child, I've been following West Ham since 1976. So, and they were the first English team that I remember really playing, and they were actually playing United at the time on television. And I remember it was 1976, 77, and Billy Bonds was playing. And straight away, this fellow would be a big mop, blonde mop and big central defender. And I was like, yeah, that was my team. It was black and white TV as well. And every single season in the top flight, they'll do great until winter. And as soon as the start of the new year, they just fall apart. And just, they go from top 5, top 3, dropping down the table. Only once they didn't do it, when they finished third. Right now, fourth place could be a bit of a stretch for them. I don't see it. I don't know. I don't. If they can get into Europe, that's going well. I just do think that Arsenal. Okay, games in hand. You have to win your games in hand, but they've so many games in hand that one win or even a draw gets them above West Ham. Third place is well out of reach. I think it's United and Arsenal's to fight over.
Yeah.
I just don't want West Ham to drop behind Wolves or Spurs. And that's
they've had a great season, haven't they? They've had a great season, and whatever happens, Europe's there, and whatever they do now, I can have an easy life, especially with my family, because they're all West Ham, and I'm the black sheep of the family, so no one ever talks to me. So, so they're all happy at the moment. So, look, just quickly, Lee, West Ham, quick word about them this season.
Fantastic season. Really good manager. He didn't turn into a bad manager overnight at Man United. Again, it was just something very difficult to follow on from. And they're doing great, and I really hope that they get into Europe and continue where they are. They're a big club. They're a big football club, and it's nice to not just have Arsenal, Spurs, and Chelsea now. West Ham have thrown themselves in a mix, and it's nice to see. And hopefully they'll kick on, because they're a good football club, and I've been to watch them a few times, probably more than Man United, to be honest. No, they're a good club, and hopefully they kick on. And I say I'm really happy for David Moyes, because he's a good manager.
Yeah, Nathan, final word on West Ham.
Yeah, like I said, David Moyes did really well at Everton. It's a similar type of team that you expect to be in and around a similar position. So for him, it looks like that's his kind of comfort zone, where he can really get the most out of them teams, where if you lose against the big boys, it's not the worst, but you'll probably beat the lower teams. And that's where they are right now. And that's why I look at it and think United, although we're in and around that area, it's like we're supposed to be slightly higher. And then these boys at the moment, that's them at their best. And they always drop off a little bit at certain times in the season. And that's what you're getting at the moment. And that's why you kind of feel like they will drop off slightly. But I think they'll do enough to stay in and around the similar positions where they're at now. Because they're playing some good stuff. They got some really good players. You just want to see them add a couple more instead of someone leave next season and then they're having to rebuild that position. And that's what happens with those teams. Because, any of them teams that are slightly below with some really good players, they end up going to the team slightly above. And that's the reality of football. You have to continue churning out, finding these gems, and making sure you're bringing in the money again to then go find more gems, and then hopefully you become so much better than the other teams that they won't want to move on. But that's the case, isn't it? That's the fight in football, and it's always exciting to see, and it's nice to see West Ham up there.
So, like I said, we'll be doing this every week now, and so it's going to be really exciting to see the changes, and who's going to go where and who's going to end up fourth. But just while we're here tonight, Nathan, how do you see it now? Where are Man United going to finish?
I think we're going to finish fourth, because I just said, like I say, the rest of the teams, like Arsenal, they've done well, but I don't see them sustaining it. I think if you to talk to me a few weeks ago, I wouldn't have seen United sustaining it, but I've seen some kind of little changes where I think we will improve. We will get better, more consistent for these last 12 games, and I think we will just edge it, just because the other teams may not be able to be consistent enough as well.
Lee, you're just going to edge it?
Listen, finishing fourth is a failure, in my opinion, for Man United, a club of that size, for the players they've brought in. If they finish fifth or sixth, it's an absolute horror show. If they put a selfie out and they finish fourth, celebrating finishing fourth, I might have to change to supporting someone else. Because, that is my biggest hate of all time, celebrating finishing fourth. I go with Nate. I think they should have too much about them. Out the sides that are battling out, Man United, Arsenal, West Ham, Tottenham. If you put all their sides on paper, you say Man United is far superior, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and that should get them into the top four. I think it's going down to the wire. Is what I think. I think Man United, I think Man United get beat tonight 2-0 as well.
Score prediction for tonight, yeah. Maybe we just throw that. Maybe we just throw that one in. Throw that one in at the end.
Madrid are all wrong for Man United.
I haven't even thought about that.
Neutral. Where do you think Manchester United finish? Don't forget, there's an Arsenal supporter sitting here as well. So,
listen, I did say that if West Ham finish top 7, that's good going for them. Because the big fear is, Steve, myself have discussed this. Declan Rice is most likely going to move on next season, and that's just typical for West Ham when they lose. Like, I'm just thinking, growing up when they would lose, like say Tony Cottee, when they would lose, Joe Cole, Michael Carrick, Paul Ince, superb players, like international level players, like proper, great players. They all leave the club when it gets, as Nathan said, gets to certain points. They lose these players. So West Ham are going to, I do see them dropping down. They're fifth at the moment, so we're going to drop down into probably 6th, 7th. Like Arsenal are going to go by them. I think it's a straight up battle between United and Arsenal. I do fancy United to hold on. The games in hand again. Arsenal have to win 2 of their 3 games in hand to just get ahead of United. So that's first of all. That's
Arsenal have some very difficult fixtures. Very difficult fixtures.
This is it. I mean, it's no good. I remember years ago playing in Canada. We're playing in the Atlantic, the regional league. And I remember there was a team above us, and they said like they had 2 games in hand or over us, and it was a relegation battle. So the last team went down. We were dead last, and I said, we have 2 games in hand. And we just kept winning games. So we were 1 point ahead of them. They had 2 games in hand at the end of the season and ended up losing both games. So it doesn't make a difference how many, and we stayed up. It doesn't matter how many games you have in hand, you have to win them. Can Arsenal do it? I don't think so. I think United are going to continue to pick up points as the season goes on, and Arsenal, might hit a bit of a skid and not do it. I do think Arsenal are going to end up in 5th, United in 4th. West Ham, I'm just praying to God Wolves don't get ahead of them. If they do, I'll be furious.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Lee and Nathan have already said. The squad's there, the players are there. They've got 4 or 5 world-class players in on the pitch every single week. It's just they should do. They should be the team that finishes fourth. But we'll certainly see about that. Anyway, everybody, look, I know the United boys are going to want to go and watch their match tonight, but I'm going to get a score prediction before you go for tonight. Nathan?
1-1. I'm going 1-1. Going 1-1.
Leo, what did you say? You think 2-0, did you say?
2-0 Madrid. I hope I'm wrong.
Are they that good, Madrid? I didn't know they was playing that well, but maybe they are. Alan, prediction for the United Madrid game tonight?
Remind me the first leg again.
This is the first leg.
I know, no. This is it. So remind me of the not the first leg. Sorry, I know it's the first leg.
Away.
Yeah. So it's away tonight. I've forgotten about that. I kept thinking it was home in Old Trafford. I could see United nipping it. I could see United doing it. I could see United winning 2-1. Atletico are good, but they're missing a couple of players. The coach wants out. He's in a big fallout with the president. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. I can see United winning 2-1. I can see them going ahead, Atletico getting a goal back, and United nipping a goal at the end. And I do think it's down to I think is Harry Maguire in the lineup tonight? I didn't see the starting lineup.
Yeah, he's starting.
He's always there, Harry. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I thought for some reason he picked up a strain at the weekend, celebrating his goal. But I think I could see Maguire getting on the score sheet.
He got on the score sheet the weekend. So, from my point of view, I could just remember PSG. You didn't think you was going to win that one. So
we're running out of time, lads.
No. I'm going quick. I'm looking at the clock. I can see Lee's face. He's like, go out. Hurry up. Anyway,
he's chucking to get off.
Alan, thanks very much for joining us. Hopefully, if you're free next week, please come and join us again next week.
Love it. We love it.
Cheers, Alan. Nathan, thanks a lot, mate. Thanks for giving up your time. Hope you're getting in time.
No problem.
So, Lee, I hope you got your beer or your bag of crisps or whatever you're going to do there.
Crisps and a Diet Coke for me.
Yeah, same here, mate. I think we're all on the same boat, mate. So, Diet Coke and crisps. But look, everyone else, thanks for joining us. Please join us next week. And let's get these guys off. Until then, peace out. Stay safe. Watch your hand. And for these boys, up the United tonight, I suppose.
See you.